Welcome everyone to the Trust the Plan podcast. I'm Nick,
And I'm Preston.
and Preston has not many days left of single life, right?
Yeah, I just checked yesterday. So as of today, it'll be 45 days until the wedding. Month and a half.
Countdown.
Countdown.
Do you make like a paper chain?
No.
And there was a bachelor party a couple weeks ago, right?
There was, yeah. Yeah. Last weekend, we went to downtown Detroit, did some bars, did the Tigers game, did the casino, of course. It was
Okay.
fun.
Okay. Win any money?
No. So I sat down at a blackjack table. That's what I like to play when I go. And I sit down, and there's a guy sitting next to me who's been at the table, and he says, "Don't play." I'm like, "Don't? What do you mean?" He's like, "The Steelers terrible. So don't even put your money in." I'm like, "Well, I'll see." So I sit out one hand. Everybody at the table loses that hand, and I'm like, "Well, everyone lost. Buy low. Maybe I should put some money in, right?" So I start playing, and within four hands, everyone at the table has just walked away except for me. I'm the last one left. And then that dealer left, new dealer came in, and I started winning off the new dealer. Then the new one left, old guy came back, and I just took my money. I was like, I'm not playing with this guy anymore.
So you walked away at a profit at
at
that
a
point?
loss still, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
lost so much on the first guy.
Okay.
But
That's
was
the way it
fun.
works. You
Yeah.
got to watch out for those dealers.
Yeah.
Well, today on the show, and by the way, at Peak, we believe that by providing education and guidance, we can help you make great financial decisions so you can retire with peak confidence.
I like that one.
Yeah. And if you're listening, give us a try next time on YouTube and subscribe and ring that bell for us. Now, today we're talking about taxes. Okay. So it's kind of the middle of the year, good time to reevaluate where we are with taxes. And one thing that's different with small business owners versus a W-2 employee is the taxes. So as a business owner, you have more opportunities to save money on taxes, like creating a solo K plan, a SEP IRA, a cash balance pension plan, not to mention just having the opportunity to write off business expenses, which then lowers your income according to the IRS. Right? As a W-2 employee, you don't have those options, but you still have a lot of options, right?
Right.
So let's walk through those and be cognizant of where we are mid-year. And by the way, let me say this. You should be meeting with your CPA twice per year, okay? Once to do your tax return, and the second time in November to do some tax planning. Now, we're in the middle of the year, but we can still be aware of these things. We don't need a meeting with the CPA today, but we want to make sure that we're checking in on our plan.
Yeah, CPA might be on the golf course right now anyway. So.
Yeah, we like to work with CPAs that actually answer the phone in the summer, though.
Right, yeah.
But a lot of places, if you are, using the big block store, if you will,
right.
they might not answer, which is a shame. So Preston made this wonderful graphic for us here. So let's walk through this.
Yeah. So as a W-2 employee, 401k is sort of the first place everybody thinks to start, because a lot of companies offer the 401k. Almost every time they incentivize you with a match, which is fantastic. So at the bare minimum, you want to make sure you get your whole match. But it can be advantageous, and a lot of places now are giving you a Roth option, which is fantastic. As anyone who listens to this podcast knows, we love Roth, and especially for people who are younger, getting that tax-free growth and that tax-free withdrawal later on, and not having to take huge required minimum distributions in your 70s, it can all be good.
And what we like to preach is, when we're looking at where we're going to invest, we want to be really optimizing our tax benefit options. And that's, like you said, the 401 is the first thing that comes to mind. Traditional, get that pre-tax benefit now, or Roth, get the tax-free forever mentality. And what's next?
Next, if you're eligible, is the HSA. And the reason for that is it's the only option that can be triple tax-free. You put in your money pre-tax, you get the tax break today, which is fantastic. But then you get the tax-free growth and the withdrawal later on, as long as you claim it as a medical expense reimbursement. It's tax-free withdrawal.
We want to choose a health insurance plan that works best for you and your family, but oftentimes the high deductible plan makes a lot of sense for young and healthy folks, particularly if you're interested in taking advantage of the HSA. Triple tax free, can't say it enough. And then once we put money into the HSA, what do we want to do?
Invest it. Yeah. That's one thing we talk to a lot of people about. We say, hey, do you have an HSA? And they say, yes, we do. And then we say, is it invested? What's the investment allocation look like? And a lot of times they say, I'm not sure. And then they go home and check, and it turns out it's sitting in cash. They're not getting the tax-free growth.
Or worse, they're using that money for every doctor's bill and
Right.
medical expense that comes up. And I get it. Sometimes we can't afford to pay out of pocket, but if you can afford it, please do that. All right, so we have backdoor Roth IRA next. We've been talking about this for years as well, right?
Yeah, and this is for the high earners who aren't eligible to do an ordinary Roth IRA. The maximum income you can have this year to do a regular Roth IRA is, I think it's about 218,000. But if you're beyond that, your only option, if you wanted, would be to do the backdoor Roth IRA, which is you open a traditional IRA, you contribute to it without taking the tax deduction, and then you immediately roll it over into your Roth IRA, and then just like that, you've made your Roth IRA contribution essentially, even though technically you're not supposed to. But
Whoa, Preston's here giving away all the details here. You're not going to need him if he tells you exactly how to do it.
it's true.
Okay, and the next up is the Mega Roth 401k. Most people are not familiar with this, and there's different names, but this one's kind of gaining some momentum, the Mega Roth. And what is that?
So that is, if you've exhausted all the options that we already talked about, sometimes employers will offer what's called an after-tax contribution, and that's where this Mega Roth comes in. Is you can contribute up to $66,000 in total in your 401k if you've got this option, and then all of the contributions into this after-tax portion can later be rolled into Roth.
A lot more companies are starting to offer these, so you should definitely ask HR if your company has this as part of the 401k plan. So let's get this straight. 22,500 for the 401 for under 50. I'm still under 50, believe it or not. Okay. And potentially, well, plus the match, and potentially like 40 grand into the after-tax account, which is the Mega Roth,
Right.
plus 7750 into the HSA.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're getting into some really monster numbers here, right? And then also your spouse can do the 401 on their own. Okay. So, I mean, we're like pushing $100,000 worth of tax advantage plan. When I started in the business, the 401 max was 12,000. Okay. And the IRA limit was, guess what? 2,000. So, we've had some inflation, but we've had some favorable policy allowing for more contributions as well. And HSA didn't exist.
Right.
Okay. So then Roth conversions. Well, like he talked about the backdoor conversion, the Mega Roth 401k, that's kind of a conversion as well. That's how you'd execute that. And then finally, the Roth conversion in the sense of moving money from your traditional IRA into the Roth IRA. There's a certain window of people where this is most advantageous as well, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. Whenever we talk about Roth conversions, we want to make sure the CPA is involved so that we can make sure we're maximizing a low tax bracket and not doing a conversion that's going to push someone who normally is in, let's say, the 12% bracket. We're not going to push them into 22, 24% by doing this conversion. We want to keep it in the lowest tax bracket possible, but fully get the most bang for our buck in that bracket.
Very good. And finally, what's not on here is charity. So you can make charitable contributions, a cash gift to the church or a charity, a nonprofit where you can write off on your taxes. In addition, you can gift highly appreciated stock. And that's advantageous because when you make the gift, you don't have to sell. So you're avoiding that capital gain and taking the full write-off of the gross gift. And then finally, we have the required minimum distributions, which can be gifted to the charity as well, which is tax advantageous for our retirees over age 73. So in closing, I think that there are quite a lot of things that we can do for taxes to optimize for a W-2, not just small business owners.
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many options and such a high dollar amount that you can use to your advantage. Like we always say, it's easy for us to spend your money on good ways to save and take advantage of the taxes.
I wouldn't say spend. I would say invest, right?
Yeah, allocate.
So if you have a portfolio of over $500,000 and you're looking for a second opinion on how you're investing, how your plan looks, how you're taking advantage of tax optimized investments, please reach out to us at peakwm.com.